Have you noticed that people don't visit or call as often as they used to? Maybe your kids are too busy or friends have started to fade away. It's painful, isn't it? But what if I told you it's not just life, it might be something you can change? Growing older doesn't mean you have to be alone. Relationships don't naturally dissolve. Something in our habits, attitudes, or behaviors may be unknowingly pushing others away. The good news, you can take steps to fix it and bring people back into your life. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's pushing people away and how to fix it before it's too late. And trust me, the last mistake is the most damaging, so make sure you stick around until the end. Mistake 1: complaining too much. We all have moments where we need to vent. It's human nature to want to express frustrations, especially when it comes to things we feel deeply about: our health, the state of the world, or how things used to be better. But have you ever stopped to consider how often these complaints dominate your conversations? Imagine sitting down with a friend or family member, and within minutes, the topic turns to how bad the weather is, how terrible the news is, or how your body isn't what it used to be. While these topics may feel relevant and even cathartic to discuss, they can also drain the person on the receiving end. Nobody enjoys constant negativity, no matter how justified it might seem. Now think about it from the perspective of your children or grandchildren. Younger people in particular are drawn to uplifting, positive, and engaging conversations. They enjoy feeling inspired, motivated, and excited about life. If they leave every conversation with you feeling burdened, drained, or even guilty about things they can't control, they may start avoiding those interactions altogether, not out of malice, but out of self-preservation. The tricky part about this habit is that we often don't realize we're doing it. Complaining can feel like simple conversation, especially when we're used to discussing certain topics in a familiar way. Over time, though, it can become a pattern, one that gradually pushes people away without us even noticing. For example, take Mary, a 76-year-old woman who adored her grandchildren. When they came to visit, she was always excited to see them, but the moment they sat down, she would begin listing everything that was wrong. "My back hurts so much these days," she'd say, sighing. "And the doctor I saw last week didn't help at all. Oh, and did you hear what happened in the news? It's just awful what the world is coming to." Her grandchildren would listen politely, but after a while they started shortening their visits. They'd check their phones more often, nod absent-mindedly, and eventually they just stopped coming as frequently. Mary felt hurt and confused. She loved them so much, so why weren't they spending time with her? What she didn't realize was that every visit left them feeling emotionally drained. They associated time with her with sadness and worry, rather than joy and connection. Studies in psychology have shown that people naturally gravitate towards those who make them feel good. This is called emotional contagion, the idea that emotions, whether positive or negative, are contagious. If you frequently express negativity, others will unconsciously absorb those emotions, which may make them want to avoid interactions. On the other hand, positivity and gratitude can have the opposite effect. People who bring a sense of warmth, appreciation, and happiness into a conversation are often the ones we feel most eager to spend time with. This doesn't mean you have to pretend everything is perfect or bottle up your emotions. It simply means being mindful of how often negativity dominates your interactions. So how can you change this habit and bring people closer to you instead of pushing them away? 1. Balance complaints with positivity. It's okay to share your struggles, but make sure they aren't the only thing you talk about. If you find yourself venting about your health, follow it up with something lighthearted. Instead of saying, "My knees hurt so much these days," try adding, "But I started doing some stretches in the morning and it actually helps a little." If you feel tempted to say, "I barely slept last night," shift it to, "But I did have the most delicious cup of coffee this morning, which helped." This small adjustment makes conversations feel less like a spiral of negativity and more like a balanced discussion. 2. Ask about others. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, turn the conversation outward. People love talking about themselves, so give them the opportunity. The next time someone calls or visits, try asking, "What's something good that happened to you this week? What are you looking forward to this month? Tell me about something exciting in your life." By doing this, you make the conversation more engaging for them, which means they'll enjoy their time with you more, and as a result, they'll want to visit or call more often. 3. Practice gratitude daily. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to reframe your mindset is through gratitude. Studies show that people who actively practice gratitude experience lower levels of stress and depression and have stronger social connections. Here's a simple exercise. Every night before bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. These don't have to be big things, they can be as simple as: I enjoyed a nice chat with my neighbor today. The sun was shining and I sat outside for a bit. I had a really good meal. By making gratitude a daily habit, your brain starts naturally focusing on the good rather than the bad. Over time, this will reflect in your conversations and interactions with others. 4. Tell more positive stories. People love a good story, especially one that brings laughter, inspiration, or joy. Instead of focusing on frustrating news or old grievances, try telling stories that spark warmth. A funny memory from your childhood. A lesson you learned from a past mistake. A heartwarming experience with a loved one. These stories help create an emotional connection rather than drain energy. 5. Try a complaining detox. For the next 7 days, challenge yourself to go a full 24 hours without complaining. Every time you catch yourself about to voice a complaint, reframe it into something neutral or positive. For example, instead of "it's too cold outside," say, "it's chilly, but at least I can stay cozy indoors." Instead of "nobody visits me anymore," say, "I should call someone today and see how they're doing." This small shift in thinking can have a profound effect on your relationships. The takeaway: the goal isn't to never express frustration. It's about balancing the conversation so that people leave interactions with you feeling good rather than drained. If you've noticed that your social circle is shrinking or that visits are becoming shorter, take a moment to reflect. Are your conversations mostly negative? Are you unknowingly pushing people away with complaints? The next time someone calls or visits, try something different. Ask them about their day, share a happy memory, or express gratitude for their presence. You'll be amazed at how much more engaged they become. By making small changes, you can strengthen relationships, keep people coming back, and ensure that your later years are filled with warmth, connection, and joy. Challenge for you: next time you're in a conversation, focus on making it 70% positive. Share something good, ask an uplifting question, or express gratitude. Then, watch how the energy of the conversation changes. If you've ever experienced someone being overly negative in conversations, comment below. How did it make you feel? Let's talk. Mistake 2: letting go of personal hygiene. It's easy to fall into the mindset of "I don't go out much, so why bother?" After all, if no one is coming over and you're not going anywhere, what's the point of getting dressed up, shaving, or styling your hair? While this might seem harmless at first, it can slowly erode self-esteem and create subtle social barriers that push people away. The reality is that hygiene isn't just about looking presentable for others, it directly affects how you feel about yourself. When you stop maintaining personal care, it can lead to a cycle of low energy, decreased motivation, and even mild depression. You might not realize it, but your appearance and cleanliness send a message to those around you. When personal hygiene starts slipping, it can make others feel uncomfortable, even if they don't say anything outright. Imagine this: your grandchild comes to visit, and as they sit close to you, they notice a strong body odor or bad breath. They don't want to be rude, so they don't say anything, but next time they choose to sit a little farther away. The next visit, they decide to keep the conversation shorter. Over time, without meaning to, they start to avoid longer interactions. It's never personal, but the discomfort builds. The same applies to social outings. If a friend invites you out but notices that your clothes are unkempt or you've neglected basic grooming, they may hesitate to invite you next time. Not because they don't care, but because they don't know how to address it. This distance can feel confusing and hurtful, but the good news is that it's entirely within your control to change. The power of self-care. Taking care of yourself isn't about vanity, it's about dignity and self-respect. A small effort in personal hygiene can completely shift how you feel and how others interact with you. Think about how refreshed you feel after a warm shower, how much more confident you are when wearing clean, well-fitted clothes, or how a simple spritz of cologne can make you feel put together. These little things don't just change how you look, they change your energy, and that's something people pick up on. Even something as simple as trimming your nails, brushing your hair, or wearing a fresh outfit can lift your mood and make social interactions more pleasant. When you present yourself well, people will naturally feel more at ease around you, leading to more frequent visits and warmer interactions. Simple habits that make a big difference. If you've fallen out of the habit of daily self-care, start with small, manageable steps. Shower regularly. Even if you're not leaving the house, a quick shower can be revitalizing. Wear clean clothes. It doesn't have to be fancy, just something fresh and comfortable. Pay attention to oral hygiene. Bad breath is a common reason people hesitate to sit close. Brushing your teeth, using mouthwash, or chewing sugar-free gum can help. Keep your hair neat. A simple comb-through or haircut every few weeks can make a big difference. Use a light fragrance. A subtle cologne or body spray can make you feel fresh and inviting. It's not about impressing others, it's about showing yourself love and care. When you do, others will naturally respond in a more positive way. Mistake 3, being overly dependent. As we age, it's only natural to rely more on family and friends for help. Certain tasks that were once easy, like fixing a household appliance, using new technology, or even handling personal matters, can become more challenging. Reaching out for assistance isn't just practical, it's also a way to feel connected to loved ones. However, there's a delicate balance between asking for help and becoming overly dependent. When every phone call comes with a request or every visit turns into a to-do list, it can make interactions feel more like obligations rather than quality time together. Family members and friends may not always express it directly, but they can start feeling burdened, leading to subtle avoidance behaviors. They might visit less frequently, keep conversations shorter, or hesitate before answering the phone, fearing they'll be met with another request. Why overdependence can push people away. Consider a scenario. Margaret, a 78-year-old widow, loves her son dearly. She calls him every day, sometimes twice a day, not just to talk, but to ask for help with little things. One day, she needs him to reset her Wi-Fi. The next, she wants him to bring her groceries, even though she's capable of arranging a delivery service. Another time, she asks him to come over and change a light bulb, even though she has a neighbor who has offered to help. At first, her son is happy to assist, but over time, he starts feeling overwhelmed. He has a full-time job, children of his own, and responsibilities that keep him busy. While he loves his mother, he begins to feel guilty when he can't always be there. The guilt turns into stress, and eventually he starts spacing out his visits, answering calls less often, and avoiding certain topics that might lead to another favor being asked. Margaret, in turn, notices this distance and feels hurt. She wonders why her son doesn't visit as often and starts feeling lonely. This loneliness leads her to call him even more, unknowingly increasing the cycle of overdependence and emotional strain. This pattern happens often in families, not out of a lack of love, but because people need space to manage their own lives. Constant dependency, even in small ways, can make relationships feel less like companionship and more like a burden. The key to maintaining healthy relationships. The goal isn't to stop asking for help altogether. Everyone needs support at times. Instead, it's about finding ways to remain as independent as possible so that interactions with loved ones remain enjoyable rather than stressful. 1. Learn basic technology. One of the most common reasons seniors reach out to family members is for help with technology, resetting passwords, troubleshooting Wi-Fi, setting up a new phone. While these might seem like small requests, they can add up over time, especially if they happen frequently. Instead of relying on family for every tech-related issue, consider learning some basics. There are senior-friendly tutorials available online, and many community centers offer free classes on using smartphones, computers, and other digital tools. Even keeping a small notebook with instructions for common tech fixes can make a big difference in reducing dependency. 2. Explore hobbies and activities. Sometimes overdependence isn't just about practical help, it's about emotional connection. When family visits are the only source of entertainment or social interaction, it can create an unconscious pressure for them to always be available. Engaging in hobbies, joining a club, or participating in social events can help fill this gap. Whether it's gardening, reading, knitting, learning a new language, or even taking up light exercise classes, finding activities that bring joy can make a significant difference. Not only does this reduce dependency on others for entertainment, but it also makes conversations more engaging. Instead of only discussing problems or requests, you'll have interesting stories and experiences to share. 3. Accept help when it's offered, but don't expect it. There's a big difference between receiving help and expecting help. When someone offers to assist, accepting with gratitude is perfectly fine. However, when help is constantly expected or demanded, it can create resentment. For example, saying "Thank you for picking up my groceries, that was really kind of you," fosters warmth and appreciation. Saying "You never bring me anything when you visit" creates guilt and emotional distance. When help is appreciated rather than expected, family members feel more inclined to assist. They want to help because it makes them feel good, rather than because they feel obligated. 4. Find small ways to give back. Even if you need help with certain tasks, finding ways to give back can help maintain a sense of balance in relationships. Maybe you can't do physical labor, but you can still offer emotional support, share words of wisdom, cook a favorite dish, or simply be a good listener. Giving in any form fosters a sense of mutual appreciation. Instead of relationships feeling one-sided, they become a two-way exchange of care and respect. 5. Respect boundaries and personal time. If a family member is busy or doesn't respond right away, avoid taking it personally. Everyone has their own responsibilities, and sometimes they simply don't have the capacity to be available at all times. Instead of calling or visiting unannounced, try setting regular check-ins. A weekly call or a planned visit can be something to look forward to without creating unexpected pressure on the other person. 6. Use alternative resources when possible. If certain needs arise frequently, look into alternative solutions that reduce dependency on family. Need help with groceries? Consider grocery delivery services. Struggle with transportation? Many communities offer senior shuttle services. Need minor home repairs? There are volunteer organizations that help seniors with home maintenance. By utilizing these resources, you reduce stress on family members while still getting the help you need. The key takeaway. It's completely natural to need help, but maintaining a balance is crucial. When relationships become centered around dependency, they can start to feel strained. By taking small steps toward independence, engaging in personal interests, and showing appreciation rather than expectation, you'll find that family members want to be around you rather than feeling obligated. The goal isn't just to receive support, it's to maintain warm, healthy relationships that bring joy to everyone involved. When you respect their time, invest in your own interests, and create positive interactions, you'll find that people naturally want to spend more time with you. And at the end of the day, relationships built on love, not obligation, are the ones that last the longest. Mistake 4. Only talking about the past. We all love reminiscing, but if every conversation becomes a trip down memory lane, younger family and friends may struggle to relate. Imagine sitting with a group of young people who only talk about things you don't understand, TikTok trends, new music, technology. It can feel alienating. Now flip that around. If you only talk about events from 40 years ago, younger people may feel the same way. White heavy checkmark solution. Balance nostalgia with curiosity. Ask your grandchildren about their favorite shows, listen to their music, or discuss a recent event they're interested in. You don't have to love everything new, but showing interest in their world helps keep the conversation engaging for both of you. Try a new activity together, whether it's watching a new movie or trying out a simple app. Keeping up with the present helps keep relationships strong. Mistake 5. Not respecting boundaries. Unannounced visits, frequent calls, or giving too much unsolicited advice can strain relationships. Younger people, especially those with families or busy work lives, value their personal time. If every interaction feels like a demand rather than a choice, people may start creating distance. White heavy checkmark solution. Give space. Before calling or visiting, send a message first. Ask how often they'd like to check in. When giving advice, make sure they actually want it. Sometimes people just need to be heard, not told what to do. Building healthy boundaries ensures relationships stay strong rather than becoming obligations. Mistake 6. Ignoring health and lifestyle. If you're feeling tired, sluggish, or unwell, it can impact your mood and energy in social settings. People want to spend time with those who bring positive energy, and poor health habits can make it harder to engage fully in life. White heavy checkmark solution. Prioritize your health. Eat well, stick to simple, nutritious choices like salmon for brain health, leafy greens for heart health, and nuts for joint support. Stay physically active, even if it's just light stretching or a daily walk. Get enough sleep and maintain a consistent routine. A healthier body leads to a more positive mindset, making social interactions easier and more enjoyable. The truth is, staying connected after 75 is possible. It just takes small, conscious efforts. Start today, pick one habit to work on this week. Maybe it's improving conversations, keeping a gratitude journal, or taking a daily walk. One change at a time can make a world of difference in your relationships. If this video helped you, hit like and subscribe for more tips on making life fulfilling and connected. And if you know someone who might need this, share it with them. Let's make these years the best ones yet. Comment below which of these mistakes surprised you the most.